everyone. I am trying to figure out right now how to add Miss Deplorable Knitter. 1 second. There we go. Hopefully that works. Because this is the first time I've ever gone live before, so that's exciting. Because she's out of town now. There we go.
I don't know why it didn't work on mine. Oh, but I don't think, well, people will find us if they find us, whatever. I was going to say, I don't know that we don't have all the same followers, and I didn't put up that we were going live, so
that is
hopefully
true.
they'll find us. Because this was a spur of the moment, we didn't quite know exactly what we were doing, but, you know, here we are.
We'll figure it out somehow.
So, Anne, before we really get going, I need help with my sock.
Okay. I don't know if I can help you. I hope I can. I've done socks.
Well, this is the problem, and it seems like it should be easier than it is. But I've started to pick up stitches for my socks. See, there's a heel here, and I'm picking up along the side, and I'm doing magic loop, and my needles are in the wrong spots, and I don't know how to fix it. Because I should probably start knitting with this other needle, but they're both on the same side, and they both want to go this way. Does that make sense? Like, I think I did something wrong.
So, okay, so if you have your two heels, you only have to make the heels.
I only have one heel right now.
Right, you only have one side, so you'd have to come around and do the other side, maybe?
You know what? I think I haven't done the heel turn for this one yet, the heel flap. So maybe I'll just go do this heel flap and then I'll figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be my answer. Never mind.
You can get them at the same time.
Because now I can't, my needles aren't in the right spot to keep going around the sock. The other sock's in the way.
Right. Unless you disattach them from the needle and just do one and then do the other. But that's...
I don't want to do that. That sounds painful. No. No, and I'm in Florida, so I only have the things I brought, which are limited supplies because I wasn't sure about the plane and what they would let me bring, and so I brought the size needles I needed. I don't have any double points. So it is what it is. It's bare bones knitting. Ladybug's Landing is asking about where to learn to knit. I don't know. I got all of my advice from my mom, so I'm not super helpful on that front. Because she taught me. And actually, I was on the phone today with her, and she was telling me how to do a heel turn thing. I don't even know what it's called, but she's the one who was telling me what to do. So I can't help. Do you have any advice, Anne?
Find a wild hippie woman and make her force you. Well, I was forced to learn to knit. I had almost no agency in that whatsoever. And other than that, internet is great. So it's not very helpful answer. Sweet Mountain Crafts said very pink knits, and that's actually when I started doing stranded color work, I learned by watching her videos. So even though like now all of my patterns practically are stranded color work, I didn't know how to do it, and I had to go watch her. So but yeah, so friends, see, look there's a palm tree back there. Can you see it? And see the blue sky? And I already went swimming today, which is why my hair is not as lovely as it used to be. But this morning, my husband said to me, oh, honey, let's go for a walk. So I was like, oh, okay, honey. And I'm like, where are we going? He said, oh, if we walk down this way, my dad said, we'll hit some water. It'll be real nice. Okay. 3 miles later, I'm like, and it got really humid while we were walking. And I'm like, dude, like I was not dressed appropriately. I didn't have a tank top on. I had a t-shirt. I was like, I could have been getting a tan this whole time. I could have, but no, I didn't know we were going on this death march. Where you roll up your sleeves.
I did actually, because I'm like, I'm wasting all this time in the sun where I could at least be getting some sun.
Yeah, when I used to work at a summer camp, it was part of the rule is no tank tops, but all of the counselors would walk around all day with their sleeves rolled up so they could get that extra little bit of tan.
Well, it makes a difference. I mean, come on, if you're going to be out in the sun.
You don't want the weird
capitalized
line tan on your t-shirts. That's just, Yeah, no, I agree. So, but yeah, we went on this. I called it. I texted Ann because we were going to do this a little bit earlier, and I'm like, I'm on some sort of death march. I can't do it until later. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where I am. I'm lost.
I hope at the end of this, there's like some sort of pit of alligators that pushes me into, and that's the end of me.
We've been coming to Florida for years, right? I've never once seen an alligator while we've been here. Like, even driving down Alligator Alley, I've never seen one. I think they're just myth.
I believe I saw one once. It was very fast, and we were sort of driving by, where there was like one in a ditch, but it didn't look like a ditch where alligators would normally hang out. So I've only been to Florida twice in my life, so I could be wrong.
Yeah. No, I'm an alligator denier, kind of like I'm a COVID denier, apparently. I have had, on my Instagram, yesterday I posted a picture of me and my husband in our face masks on the airplane. Mm-hmm. And somebody got on on my post, and you can find it. It's the picture of us with our face masks on, mm-hmm. telling me that I don't love my neighbor and I'm not a Christian because I don't agree with all of the mask mandates. And I was trying to explain that I comply with like laws. Like, hey, I'm on a plane. They say I have to wear a mask. I'm wearing my mask. See me? I'm wearing it, obviously. But they just kept going like, you are, you're not a Christian and blah, blah. And that's the problem with all you Christians is that you lie. And I'm like, what? I don't understand.
Guess who's only getting together with a small group for barbecue for 4th of July.
But seriously, like, I don't get it. So I used a hashtag that said Plandemic, and I also said masks don't work. I can absolutely agree with that. And I can also wear them when I go places that say I have to wear them. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that I'm trying to endanger anyone. It doesn't mean I'm not a Christian. I think that they have taken COVID and used it to perpetuate a lot of things that I don't agree with. This doesn't make me less Christian. It doesn't make me anything nutty. It would be one thing if I was like on a plane coughing on people without my mask on, but I wasn't. You know what I mean? Like, I was doing everything. It was crazy.
Right.
And they're still arguing with some of my followers. And then somebody new got on who's still arguing. I have one follower who is like killing it. I don't even need to get on there because she is totally like holding her own. And she's like, what are you talking about?
Like, oh, you got this, girl.
So I've said my piece, and that's what I do with trolls. I will say whatever, and then they keep saying the same things, because you know how it is when you're a liberal. You just keep saying it over and over, because if I shout over you long enough, you're just going to go away. So I don't argue with them. I'm over it. I'm going to drink my wine instead and be thrilled about being outside in the sun.
Oh, I know.
Whatever. Ann's in South Dakota, where it's, yes, we are ruining our immune systems for sure. And I think about that all the time. Like, I homeschool my kids. I'm thrilled to do it. But what is going to happen when we start going around people again? They're going to be so sick. My kids were the kids that never got sick, and now they haven't been exposed to a thing, and it's going to be terrible. But I think she also asked where we are. We're on the Gulf Coast of Florida, so it is absolutely gorgeous. And he lives on a canal, and it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'd move my camera if I didn't totally, mess up my setup. I took so long to get this together. But yeah, we're almost all the snow had melted, and then we had like 7 or 8 inches, and it's melting again.
Oh,
but
no.
Yeah, it'd be perfect snow to build a snowman, but if we're lucky, it will all melt in the next couple days. So
yep. No,
but yeah, it's, you can have simultaneous truths of, I believe that coronavirus is a real thing, and also I believe that masks and lockdowns are the worst way to handle it. You can do both.
Exactly. And everybody's like, oh, Florida's so free and open. So yesterday we got in. It was St. Patty's Day. We went past a St. Patty's Day party where the whole block was shut off and everybody was in there drinking their beer and doing their thing. But then we went to a restaurant later on, and we had to wear our masks into the restaurant. When we sat down, we took them off. Like, it's not the absolute free-for-all that people are making it out to be. like there's still the social distancing isn't as strict and things, but it's not like it's just like, oh, hey, I'm going to stand next to the stranger and be like, hey. But then again, we were on the plane, right? And my poor husband ended up having to sit next to the stranger because it was a choice between the middle or the window seat. And I'm like, I'm sitting at the window. So, but he's flown a lot more than me, so I didn't feel that bad about taking it.
Right.
But I mean, the lady next to us was actually really cool. She was also a conservative, and they're actually moving down here to Florida.
Oh, nice.
They're from where we are in New York, because they're like, they see the signs, they're like, New York sucks, and it's going to get worse. But, you know, everybody's like, oh, COVID, COVID, COVID. But here we're going to be like, I mean, like, thank God it was my husband next to me, because I had my arm on his leg half the time because the seats are so small that it wasn't comfortable. But it's okay on a plane because we had our masks on, but never mind the fact that we all got drinks and then we were all talking without masks on. But it's okay because we were on a plane, and I don't get the rules. What are the rules?
I don't know. Well, recent hit piece came out on Kristi Noem in Rolling Stones about, you know, her being the COVID governor or whatever. And it's, you know, like there's yes, South Dakota is freer than a lot of places, certainly. And I don't want to take my freedom privilege over other people and discount that. But, like, we still have masks, depending on the city you're in. City, town, we don't really have cities. It's a couple. But there's, you know, depending on your area, you still have masks and mask mandates. And in every area, it's the restaurants who get it worse than anybody else. But you still have these issues. You still have people who are terrified. And again, it's a real thing, everything else. But you know, when you're in an area where there's no mask mandates and nobody's wearing a mask, you know, without everyone constantly talking about it, you can almost sit there and forget it exists. Oh, you shouldn't because it's dangerous. And like, effectively you could though. Like there's well, and the numbers just came out that Florida, with its, you know, much more
fairly
freedom,
open,
and California have the same COVID numbers.
Exactly. So and it's the thing too. If everything was working the way they say, then by masking and social distancing, we would have stopped the spread. Lots of people have done it. We've been doing it in New York for a year. We just passed the year anniversary of everybody's being trapped in my house. And there's still COVID. It's still coming around. So obviously, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Well, maybe we should try something else. And somebody got offended by me. One of my regular followers got offended because I posted a Chuck Norris meme this week. And I mostly posted it because, I don't know, like 20 years ago, I had a friend that we would send emails to each other and we'd be like, what's under Chuck Norris's beard? Another fist. Like we would go find the stupidest Chuck Norris jokes we could and we would send them to each other. So that's a lot of why I sent the meme. And I want to be clear that I don't think that it's not true, because their mom had passed away, and I feel bad. I feel bad for anybody who's lost anybody during this. I mean, my grandmother didn't pass from corona, but we hadn't been able to see her in like 10 months because of the lockdowns. I understand. This has been hard. It sucks. But I also put a little levity in it because Chuck Norris jokes are funny. And it has a picture of Chuck Norris drinking Corona out of a cup. Like, and one of my comments was, Corona tried to, the coronavirus tried to infect Chuck Norris, but it had to be put in quarantine for 2 weeks because he is Chuck Norris. So,
like the normal setup of a Chuck Norris joke. Like,
yeah. So I make jokes because I think that you have to have a little bit of levity, because all of this stuff is just crazy.
Right.
But anyway, I don't want to be on the coronavirus nonsense train. So what else is going on? Do you have any knitting before we get crazy?
My knitting is practically the same as it's been last week because, so last week I showed Reclaim Beanie. Woohoo.
Woohoo.
Look, it's another one. Oh, look, it's another one. Oh, wait, on my needles, you'll never guess. It's the fourth.
So why? Why, Anne? Why are there 4 of them?
There are 4 of them.
Explain to me.
Okay, well, there are 4 of them because the pattern is in testing right now. There's 3 different people testing it, so that's awesome. But also because I wanted, the pattern's pretty simple. It's a ribbed beanie. I just have to explain how I do the sort of modified intarsia because, as you can see, I don't have different blocks of colors like regular intarsia. I'm carrying the yarn back and forth. So
Yeah, and side note, I downloaded the intarsia video, and I intended to edit it, and time got away from me. Let me tell you, getting the kids ready for me to be gone for 3 days. You'd think we were going away for 7 months. It took forever. It was nonsense. So I'm sorry.
That's okay. It'll all be figured out. But yeah, because
I know.
Because I do intarsia so weirdly, I find it really difficult to get specifically what I mean down and to have pictures enough to explain it. So, that'll work out. But I cast on another one in worsted weight so I could get, because the other sort of heavier one I did, I just doubled up fingering, and I'm not sure if that works out number-wise for measurements and everything. So I've written out the pattern. I'm test knitting my own pattern to make sure that it's actually what I say it is. As well as, there's another lady who's doing the worsted weight version of this pattern, and she's sending me questions. I'm like, oh, I hope this is good. Like, I don't want to disappoint our English brothers and sisters by putting out a crappy pattern. So don't want people over the pond to be like, well, this is nice, but not very nice. There's a very strong knitting tradition, and I don't want the American knitting tradition to be lesser than that. So
You're funny. So I sent a pattern to test knit. That's the other reason I didn't edit your video, because I was getting my own pattern into test knitting, and I sent it off Tuesday night. I think it was Tuesday night. And I'm like, guys, I'm going to be gone for 4 days. I'm not going to have my computer. So good luck. Godspeed. I will see you in a few days. I hope you get it. I hope it makes sense.
Right.
I mean, like, I didn't totally abandon them. I've been checking in. But for some reason, Yahoo blocks my emails. And so people don't get my stuff. And they're like, I'm like, I kind of don't know what to do. Actually, Anne, I might send it to you and ask you to message it to her.
Okay.
Since I don't have the ability to. But
sure.
So somebody asked about the tutorial for modified intarsia. Yes, Anne has done a tutorial. I have not edited it. So therefore, once I edit it, it will be available. I will get on it, I swear. One of these days.
It's all right. I just threw it in
I'm
your
not going to worry about it,
this
though.
works sometimes.
Yeah, but she recorded it. I looked. You recorded it on January 3rd, and I still have not edited it. It's my bad. Like, I totally dropped the ball on it. It's my bad.
It's okay. I've said it a lot of times, but I'm still sitting on that Hong Kong pattern. And I'm working on it. I'm trying to get good pictures. I found out that it works better if I were to take the flower pattern and do it again in upside down, otherwise than just saying, like, just do it the same, but from the other direction when you knit around the scarf.
Yeah.
So, lots of stuff.
Some patterns are fiddly. The one that's in testing for me is a cabled pattern. And so I can chart a cabled pattern fine, but then when I get to the decreases, I'm never quite sure, like, if I've got it right with how, like, I'm getting rid of stitches and how it's going, because I don't knit from charts. So it's like trying to speak a different language, and I'm like, kind of makes sense to me, so it should work. I don't know. Whoops.
Right.
But like I said, what are you going to do?
Who knows? We'll get it figured out eventually. And while I'm sitting here in Reclaim Land, I think I finally got my colors and yarn all figured out, because I still want to do an undesirable #1 sweater that I'm just going to show this thing because I brought it out. I love this bad boy. It makes me happy. But
It is awesome.
But I have it in like grays and navies, and I think that would be
Everything
really cool.
you do is in grays and navies.
Pretty much. That's fair.
You have an aesthetic, and you kind of tend to stay close to it. Whereas I have my aesthetic because I have to. But if I was allowed to just knit whatever I wanted to, it would be more along the lines of,
Right, that you just do rainbow colors all the time, and they'd be very fun. And I'm sitting here, and I'm like, yeah, so I want to do this sweater, but I want it to be in all, like, sort of very neutral colors. And, yeah, that'll be, because I want to take that pattern, and then I want, like, large stripes, because I kind of want the idea of prison stripes without being necessarily prisony. So I want to
you don't want it to be like black and white, like obvious, but
yeah, I want it to be I want it, there's the slight hint of prisony, but also kind of like a naval sweater, but like not.
I got you.
So yeah, that's a lot of things to shove together at once. My other
But if anybody can do it, it's you.
My other idea was to make it blaze orange, but I think that's too much. Walk into a room.
No, I think that's taking the prisony thing a little too literal.
I think
you want to be a little interpretive with it. Yeah.
Right. Slightly interpretive, not as obnoxious. Like, oh, yeah, there's some subtlety here. We're trying. There's a Trump cameo on my shirt, and I'm just going to be like, yeah, I'm going to make this subtle.
Well, as subtle as you can get with the president on your shirt. I got to say, I posted it to my Instagram before we got on here, but we were walking, and my husband's like, I can't believe you're stopping to take a picture of that. Somebody took one of their Trump yard signs and modified it to say Trump won.
Uh-huh.
And I took a picture of it, and I posted it. I mean, God, it's so funny. You want to have the level of that kind of stuff. You want it to be like, oh, it looks like a Trump sign. Oh, wait, that's not a Trump sign.
Right.
People are crazy.
Well, and yeah, with this, I think it's pretty obvious that it's Trump. Okay, it's got the hair.
Oh yeah,
it's got the little whip at the back of his neck. That's Trump.
I love it that you call it the flip, like that's a thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that flip.
The little flip. The little whatever you call it. The badger head. But he's that it's pretty obvious with him, but thinking like, oh well, technically I could do a series, undesirable 2, 3, 4. Profiles are hard though. Like you need
Profiles
a very distinct
and
look, and then you have to translate it into knitting, and who wants to do that?
Well, and like, who else would you put up there that would have a profile that people would look at and be like, I know who that is? Like,
exactly.
I don't know.
You need a very distinct look to do that.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. Well, I would love to see your sweater. So is that in the works or not until after the Reclaim thing is done?
I want Reclaim out and good and approved and all.
And probably Hong Kong too.
Yeah, a bit.
Okay. So when we get home, people feel free to message me and ask where the Intarsia video is, because that'll light a fire under me, and then it'll get done. So.
Right. The undesirable sweater has gotten as far as I have all of the yarn laid out on a table, and I kind of know what it's going to look like, and I know where to look like or where to go to kind of grab a pattern to throw it into a sweater, because I have written my own sweater patterns, but only for me. So this isn't going to be a sweater pattern. Do not ask for the sweater pattern. The sweater pattern does not exist. The chart only.
Right. Yes, it's going to be a chart, and you can find your favorite sweater, and you can incorporate the chart into your favorite sweater.
Exactly. Don't be playing those games. Yes.
Little reminder, because I saw a little bit ago, Tabitha joined us. So on Monday, the article that I believe she was also interviewed for is going to be available, the New Yorker print edition. You have to go to the store and buy it. But I was interviewed, Murder Knits was interviewed, so fun stuff, people.
Yeah. Woohoo.
I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to see what it says. Even if it's, I'm taking Anne's advice to heart, and even if it's bad, at least they'll spell my name right, and people will come find me.
Right.
So it'll be cool.
Yep.
But yeah. So Anne was going to tell us about curfews.
Yeah. Curfews.
Yeah.
in
What's up with
England.
that?
Just to specify, because I mentioned this to somebody and they're like, "What? This is happening here?" No, it's not happening in America. Because naturally, okay, just I can never talk about a thing without talking about three other things.
Okay.
But no, that I'm, we've mentioned, Rush Limbaugh has died and how, terrible it is, but also from a sheer practicality standpoint, that, the sort of memorial shows that he goes, which I'm having a really, really hard time with. I really can't do the necro radio thing. That is just sort of reviving clips of him, and it's a dead man's voice doing advertisements, and they're doing that to the American conservative's best friend, and he's out there still shilling for whatever company. I find that really distasteful. But also that you have, that you it's not as informative as it used to be. Even when they bring new stuff in, when Rush is on, you knew what the narrative of the day was going to be. You knew what was going on. You'd know if there were any big story happening in the world, he'd say something. And then, then Rush is gone now, and it seems really difficult to get whatever the big story of the day is. It's much more
Right.
clouded, or at least to me. Maybe just because I find many of the other political commentators to be too annoying, that would be the reason why I can't do it. But yeah, so because of that, I've been off in British news because there's a lot of things happening. And part of the British news is, you may have heard of the Sarah Everard murder. And somebody proposed that because women are unsafe in the streets of London, that there should be a 6 p.m. curfew for men only.
All men?
All men.
Okay, and so what if they're working?
What if they run emergency vehicles? What if they're the garbage man?
What if they want to take their wife on a date?
Exactly. I don't know about you, but who wants to go to dinner with only women every single time? Not me.
Right. Like, I totally have fun with my girlfriends, but then I also super enjoy hanging out with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
I don't know, that's pretty weird.
Yeah, they couldn't kill restaurants worse, could they? And then you also have the issue.
Well, the lockdowns didn't do it properly, so now they're trying a new tack, right?
Right. And also, that doesn't make me feel safer. If, again, not in England, but if I was in a hypothetical world where it was only women walking around, woohoo, I can also get mugged. Or I could get mugged by a man in a wig who would then be sent to women's prison if he were caught.
Right, because, men can, I guess that more men are going to need to identify as women in that instance, right. Because what else are they going to do? And I mean, we just need to take their word, even if my husband in his fabulous beard were to say he was a woman. Mm-hmm. I think that we still have to believe that he is, right? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, and there's no delineation of that. You can't say, there's no way to properly say, no, you are transgender, you have been transgender for a while, this is your thing. Or you can't say, like, well, I have a wig and I feel like I'm a woman today. Yeah, there's a lot of difference between that. And you can't, how legally you're already putting such broad rules. Like today, misogyny, they're saying, is illegal. Well, that's a lot of, leeway.
But who gets to decide what is misogynistic? Like,
right.
Your viewpoint of it might be totally different than mine, and you might find something super offensive that is not, or see, we're getting to the point now where they're trying to police everything. It's just insane. I don't know.
Right, right. And part of it is, you know, we're hitting all the hot topics today. Instagram's gonna love this.
I
But
know, right? Let's see how long this is going to be up.
I know. But that, you know, I was thinking, you know, again, hi, I'm the American here looking over at what's happening. And as the American, the first thing that I would say, wow, if women are walking around at night and they feel unsafe, then you should have a way for them to defend themselves. Like that would be the most obvious answer to me. And you have gun control is so bad in England. And has been said by many people before that gun rights are human rights. Gun rights are women's rights. Gun rights are trans rights. You know, every ethnicity. Gun rights are their rights too. Because if somebody horrible wants to come and attack you, how are you going to defend yourself?
Right.
You know, and again, if you live in a poor neighborhood,
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sorry, my father-in-law just brought me another glass of wine because here there's no misogyny. They take care of me. It's nice. I'm sorry. I did not mean to interrupt your...
No, but no matter what your quote group is, if you are worried about your safety in said group, that the best way to fix that is to be able to defend yourself. And this also, I think, ties into free speech in that, you know, the old saying from World War II, once you start burning books, you can start burning people. With the BLM riots, another hot topic, that, oh, well, you're just burning property. Well, if you burn property, if you destroy property, it's not a far jump from attacking people. And then with this, you're saying that, you know, all weapons must be taken away from people. But in fact, men are the weapon. We've just decided this. So they're not allowed either. That you have to...
it doesn't make any sense. And Chief Molly pointed out, I'm sorry, she said that criminals don't follow the rules.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you and I are going to be affected by it, but people who don't care don't care.
Right.
So... you know, if some guy wants to go out and mug some chick, he's not going to follow the curfew. It's going to hurt people like my husband who are normal humans that, you know, try to do what's right. But
yeah,
whatever.
If you ban everything down to a pointed stick, then it doesn't matter because, you know, criminals are going to find a way to produce a weapon and then attack you with it because that's the mentality. That's just not a proper way to address the problem.
And that's why, you know, in prison, there are issues with homemade weapons because if they're going to do something, they're going to figure it out. Right. So
never underestimate human ingenuity. But yeah, anyways, so that upset me this week. But, you know.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I hate anything that takes a blanket statement and says, this is going to fix the problem. Mm-hmm. It's probably not. You can't just, like, I don't know. Like, okay, so anytime you try to legislate morality, people are going to have issue with that. So, you know what I mean. They just, if you don't care, it's not going to matter. It's only going to matter to the people who are good. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's mind-boggling. I haven't watched the news all week because I was too busy doing other things. But
yeah, that's fair.
I don't understand how that's going to solve the problem. I don't.
No, they're not thinking through the problem. That just like,
you know, these knee-jerk reactions, they sound super great, but they're not an issue. They're not an answer.
Well,
and sorry, go.
No, sorry. So instead of that, old Boris Johnson's proposal is that there are going to be undercover cops in all of the pubs.
Cool.
Yeah.
I heard something though that people were mad. Okay, so I said I didn't watch any news, but I did read something where somebody was like, but some of this was perpetuated by an undercover cop. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but
Interesting.
Yeah, the suspect in custody, to put that in the broadest, nicest term, in the Sarah Everard murder, was a cop. So,
Okay.
right. And also, that's not, woohoo, the secret police is hanging out in every single pub. That makes me feel good. I really want to, go out for dinner and know that there's going to be a secret policeman watching me. I'm sure that's for my safety.
I know, right?
But
Government can't fix sinful nature. Super true.
mm-hmm.
And I say it all the time, it's people don't have laws and rules never work on criminals. But I think because a lot of people nowadays don't believe in like a higher calling. And so therefore you're only living for this life. So why should you be moral? Why should you be, if everything that we're doing is for right now, might as well do what feels good.
Right.
You know what I mean? What's the point of following the rules?
Right. And having a moral structure that is primarily focused on yourself and what you feel is right. Which there's no outside level of, okay, these are the sort of rules, or here's the principles, or whatever. If you take the kind of silly example in a diet, well, if your moral structure was put in the same way that, everyone has their own diet plans, well, I'm going to do this. Well, okay, so I failed that. Well, I'll try tomorrow, or maybe I won't, or maybe I'll do another one. That it's, and not everyone is as flippant as that in moral structures, but you can excuse yourself much easier if you have your own little thing than if somebody else is holding you accountable to that.
Right. It's so much easier to say things like, oh, it's just a clump of cells. It makes you feel better. It's totally okay that I did whatever because, it doesn't really matter.
And you could also argue that, Team Clump of Cells is a moral group in themselves, that they support themselves in this decision, and somebody outside that group is like, ooh, hey.
So, speaking of Team Clump of Cells, going back to my COVID rant, my body, my choice, except that you are terrible because you don't think that masks work. Just
right.
want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Just, whatever, my mask is totally going to save the entire world. Never mind that New York has had the worst, whatever.
Like I said,
my mask is going to work.
Except when you don't.
Yeah, follow the science, except did you know, I just saw this week, I think I posted it to my stories, that when they passed Roe versus Wade, they didn't have ultrasounds.
Makes sense. I didn't know, though.
That's what I heard. It was a thing I shared on Instagram. It could be totally wrong, but it's so much easier to say something's not true when you don't have the science to back it up. So if science is changing and we're learning, COVID, we shouldn't wear masks. Now we should wear masks. So using that logic, well, now that we know it's not just a clump of cells, shouldn't our values change? But hey, anyway, I don't want to get into the abortion debate because it's...
Oh, like I said, let's hit them all. But I think people knew that it was not a clump of cells beforehand. But the watching a baby in real time, that there is a difference to this specific child. But there's
dude, I knew they weren't a clump of cells.
Right.
The minute I realized I was pregnant, like, my whole world changed. And I think that happens to most people.
Right.
But there are some who use it as birth control or other reasons. But, man, the first time you feel your baby kick, if you're telling me it's just a clump of cells, then I don't understand you. We can't be friends because I don't understand how you could. But anyway. That's just me. And I'm really far away from my kids, so I miss them a lot right now. So I think I'm a little extra.
A little extra sentimental.
A little bit extra. My oldest one called me last night at 9:45 and said, Mommy, I miss you.
Never mind that we've been apart like 12 hours.
Mhm.
But, Mommy, oh,
You're like, oh man.
oh, you'll be okay, baby. Don't worry. It's only a couple days. Although the landing, I wasn't sure that I would be going home because holy crap, I thought that something was going to like explode off the side of the plane. It was all bumpy and like, I know you're going fast, but it felt like we were going in at warp speed, like I was bracing myself. I thought we were going to crash into something. It was not the best landing I've ever experienced.
Mhm. Well, I'm glad you
Sorry,
made it.
I'm ranting again. Yeah, well, I totally almost didn't come. I read a book where somebody died in a plane crash, and then like the next movie I watched, somebody died in a plane crash, and I'm like, you know, maybe I shouldn't go. But it's okay, we got here.
You live.
So we're halfway home. But sorry, I am a little off topic today because I am relaxed. I slept, nobody woke me up. I took a swim. I'm going to take another one when we get off because I don't know if you can see it, but behind me is a lovely pool.
It's gorgeous.
Lovely pool. And there's a canal back there. Can you see the water?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm lucky that my father-in-law lives here because it's a built-in vacation.
Mhm.
Don't have to pay to go just have to pay to get here. Once we're here, it's perfect. Anyway.
Nice.
Sorry, Ann.
Hey.
Bone says I look chill. I am chill. I haven't been away from my kids this long before, and I gotta say, I think I was a calmer person before I had them. I'm feeling a little bit of that old self coming back.
Huh.
Oh yeah, the sunshine is beautiful. Today's the nicest day. It's 85. The next couple days are gonna be in the 70s, which isn't bad, but
Like, oh man,
today's
only
the swimming day.
70s.
Well, with the breeze though, it's not exactly gonna be swimming weather. But that's okay. I can still get a tan, and I will not be translucent like my co-host. What? You know you are.
I know I am. It's bad. That has been my entire goal for every summer since always. That get out there, get a tan. Have I? Not often.
Phone says I'm too chill to be deplorable. No, I still got it. I'm just doing it a little bit calmer. Oh, it's not. Ouch. Ann and I are practically married. I'm allowed to tease her.
Wow.
She said we're internet married, so it works.
That is true. That is true. If one of us go one
you get me
place,
a-
other people ask.
You get me on a glass of wine and my filter, it falters. I'm translucent too. Well, there you go. See, there's friends. And Anne made the choice to go to Wisconsin, which could you get any more translucent? Only by going to Wisconsin.
That is true, but the cheese was a pretty fair trade-off. I have a lot of friends in Wisconsin, so just from one cold place to another.
Let me tell you, last night, my father-in-law took us to this Mexican restaurant. I ate so much food, I should have been rolled out of that restaurant, and I have leftovers, which I'm going to eat when we're done. I'm thrilled. This is like my happiest day ever. Got Mexican food and wine, and I read a book. Dude, I read like for an hour, and nobody talked to me. It was amazing. Sorry, Anne. This is not very political today.
You know, that's okay.
So,
you know, it's almost
what else
like
have we got going on?
we're lifestyle knitters or something.
It's almost like I am not as high strung as usual, and I just don't even know what to do with myself.
Mm-hmm.
Anne's got the breakdown though, so we're good. That's why we go together. She always knows what's happening, and I'm just like, okay, cool, nice.
Oh, that's neat. Neato.
I didn't watch anything. I'm still knitting on my socks. These are supposed to be done the 22nd, which is Monday, the day that my New Yorker interview comes out. Do you think they'll be done? I still have 8 inches to do after I finish these heels. I don't know if this is going to happen.
Maybe I should just make them into kid socks, although they're too wide to be kid socks. I don't know. We'll have to see. Can they be like slipper socks for kids? I don't know.
Maybe. I'm sure they'll be fine.
People are asking if I brought my knitting. I brought 3 projects. I have socks. I have a sweater I'm making for my niece. Just a little shrug sweater.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very big yet, as you can see. But I've done, that's the other thing. It's amazing how much I get done without my kids. I've knit all of this sweater, and I've knit all of this heel since I've been in Florida, and I read a book, and I went out to dinner. I don't know who I am. I'm getting all the kinds of stuff done. It's crazy.
Having all sorts of identity crises. Who is this person?
Maybe I will just move to Florida. I don't think my father-in-law will notice me. He only has to take me out for Mexican like once a month. I'll be fine.
Exactly.
I can live off the leftovers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, there's a lot of people moving to South Dakota right now, and some people are, but online they'll often be like, "Oh, well, I'm leaving. I'm moving to Florida." I'm like, I get it. There's no judgment. Though I have seen locally, and not like just in front of businesses or things, but that there are Texas plates and Florida plates here. So there's at least a couple of people who are like, more freedom. Come to this barren wasteland. Nobody bothers us here. I mean, they will someday. There's no getting out of that. Someday they will.
But
currently, we're pretty okay. Not
I love vacationing here, but like for real, I wouldn't want to move here. It's just too humid and hot, like most of the time. Oh, look at Ann. We have another South Dakota person here.
Yay!
Ooh, I didn't even know there were that many of you.
We exist. Don't deny it.
There's a few, right?
Yeah.
No, but I get the wanting to move, and seriously, on the plane we were talking. I think my husband was talking a little bit too much because he doesn't really like to fly either, and he may have had a couple of adult beverages on the plane, and then he started really talking, and I felt like our seatmate was a little bit tired of talking to us.
Right. Now let me tell you what I really think. Sir,
oh no, he already was
alone for a long time and have the need to talk to people. Like literally everybody.
No, that is everybody. But he got up to go to the bathroom, and she and I were talking, and we're like, we're both stay-at-home moms, and so we were like, dude, anytime we get a chance to talk to other adults, we're like so excited. But I think it's no, but it was cool to talk to her because she was talking about how, they really wanted to go to Tennessee, but they weren't sure about it, and they found a house here, and it worked out, and I can't imagine just picking up and moving. I have too much family. But for people who can, I mean, it makes sense. Oh, Vaughn says her hubby wants a ticket. What, he's going to come to Florida too, or is he going to South Dakota? I don't know.
Oh, they're two very different options.
But either one would also be okay. It'd be better than New York or Pennsylvania where Vaughn is. So,
which is a pity because, I mean, I haven't been in New York very much, but Pennsylvania is a beautiful, beautiful state. And to have so much encroaching, government things. See?
Oh, he wants to go to South Dakota.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember she said that her husband is really infatuated with your governor.
Yes.
Which, I mean, I am too, so I understand.
Who isn't? Except for, I've mentioned this before, but there are very, very liberal people here who was like, oh, she's terrible. She's, killing us or whatever. Just the things that people say and sort of repeat media narrative that they would never say about Governor Cuomo. Yeah, that it's ridiculous. It's the same sort of crazy all over. You can't get rid of it, even in a comparatively free spot.
There's so much nonsense going on, but freaking anybody who's standing by Cuomo at this point, I don't get it. He's gonna end up hanging out at home with his Emmy by himself because that's all he's got. Right. Vaughn says she's attracted to common sense humans. Yeah, I'm a fan of them too.
you said you've never spent much time in New York. What's going to happen is that you're going to have to come visit this side of the country, and then we're going to have to meet up with Vaughn too, because I think she's only 6 hours away from me. So, I mean,
Hey,
you got friends here. It works. And then you're going to have to meet me at the Big Faces at,
Mount Rushmore.
what are they called? Mount Rushmore. See, too much wine. The Big Faces on the stone.
Yep. Black Hills is wonderful. I mean, I am a child of the plains, but out by the Black Hills where it gets actually hilly and mountainous, it is just a stunning area. It is so beautiful. And also, you walk around this world, you don't think that you're into rocks, and all around the Black Hills, there are boulders of like white quartz. And you walk in the park, and there's just one of them, and it sparkles, and it's beautiful, and it's almost like mythological. You're like, why is this here? But beautiful areas. Again, that you're like, oh, rocks, whatever. And there's crystal caves, and there's buffalo, and there's Spearfish Canyon, which is a particularly beautiful drive, where you have waterfalls and streams and trout and these little rivers, and it's really, really a stunning area.
That's awesome. We have cool things here. I'm not going to say specifically what I live near, because then haters can find me, but I will tell you offline, because I think we could compete with some of your stuff. And
well, I don't doubt it. I mean, A+ America. He has some real natural beauty.
I know, this place is so freaking gorgeous, and they're trying to wreck it. It's terrible.
Teddy Roosevelt had it right.
He did. And no, but my point is if we go to South Dakota, we're going to have to go to the Black Hills, because I'm homeschooling my kids. I can totally be like, hey, this is a field trip. We're going to learn some history.
Exactly.
It can be a whole unit study.
Yep. Go down to Deadwood, go to all the cowboy graves, the Wild West.
Right. So where's Hill City? Is that in South Dakota, or is that?
Hill City is also in the Black Hills area.
Okay, because somebody said that's one of their favorite places.
Yeah, Deadwood's slightly far, but not out of the area.
See, now I'm gonna have to go to Deadwood, because I don't know if I've ever talked about my music preferences, but I love country.
Right.
And there's this band called Big and Rich, who never really got super big. They had their one really big hit, but they have a song called Deadwood Mountain, and I would love to see them.
Songs, so.
Ooh, that's exciting. Yeah, Anne sent me a Sting CD, and I'm like, but it's not country. I don't know who you are.
Well, so about the Sting CD, so I was watching Great British Bake Off because I love it, and Noel Fielding is one of the presenters, and he made a joke about his like, yeah, it'd be like Sting, but like cool Sting, not Loot Sting. I'm like, Loot Sting is my favorite. I love Loot Sting, the more traditional things that he does, as opposed to the, like Roxanne and the other ones. I mean, okay, but like when he's over here, he's got a song
Roxanne. That's him.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Every Breath
You Take Phones
is also him.
Okay. Oh, so he's the weird stalker guy. I'm watching you.
Yes.
So the curfew should probably apply to him, right?
Perhaps. Well, he's also English, so like I got my eye on you, buddy.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I didn't know that. Okay, now I'm on the same page now.
Songs.
Okay.
So he was also in the Police.
All right. Now I'm getting it. All right.
Oh, you do know Sting songs.
I do, but it's one of those things where, like, I know them when they come on the radio. It's not like I've gone and been like, I need to listen to some Sting right now.
Right.
Whereas on the other hand, I've totally been like, I need to put some Big and Rich in my life at this moment. So it's just the difference. Actually, when we get off, I might have to listen to some. My husband and his father my husband listens to death metal.
Oh, okay.
Which, if you could get farther away from our genres, I don't know if that's possible. And then there's
I I don't listen to a lot of death metal. Previously, I had a coworker who would like put some on at work, and I'd be like, okay, this is weird. And
Mhm.
but also I'd like listen to the lyrics. I'm like, this is actually pretty sentimental stuff.
You know, it's
I don't know if it was just the whatever this
it
guy was
depends on
listening
the
to.
band, but that like there's some that talk about like the machines taking over the world and stuff, and I'm like, they're not really that wrong. So I don't know. We'll have to see. But seriously, like when we're in the car together and we're listening to music, we have to put on like 90s alternative because we can both agree on it. Because I
Right.
grew up on it, and it kind of is his thing. But yeah, no, death metal and country, we don't really meet in the middle. And that's okay.
Yep. Diversity is our strength.
Well, it's one of those where you have to like everything, like the president. Everybody thought we had to agree with everything he said. It's not true. I love my husband. I think his taste in music is pretty awful, but that's okay. I still like him.
Yep.
See, Vaughn, I think I should drink, not Vaughn. Oh my God, I'm not even talking to the right person.
No, well, I see phone on the screen.
I do see her on the screen. I think that's why I said it. But man, and I think I should have wine before every one of our episodes. I'm so much wittier. Or maybe it's just the whole being chiller than usual
Maybe.
thing that's working for me.
Maybe. Well,
Man.
that being said, I think that we pretty much got
We've
to the end of-
exhausted our stuff.
Yeah. So
I'm just off the rails now.
Right. Well, I think that once we've discussed Sting at length, we have our subjects for the day. So
Hey, we don't always have to be totally. Well, we were totally controversial for most of the thing. We can also talk about other things.
yeah, that's true. Just controversy sandwich, fluff controversy. Works.
It's a good way to do it. No, but I think you're right. We're pretty good. And when we're done, if you get an option to download this, please do.
Okay.
Because then I will have to talk you through how to upload it to YouTube.
Sure.
Ann and I look alike. But I don't know if that's actually true. For one thing, you're not translucent. Like
That is
Ann.
true. We do
She has some
style
color
our
to her
hair
skin.
fairly the same way. So
Man, this is fun. We should do more lives.
yeah, good time.
Right? And see, because I don't have to edit this week, maybe I'll actually get to the Antarctica video.
Maybe.
So, that's another thing.
There you go.
But, yeah, so I'm in Florida for what? 2 more days? We leave Saturday afternoon, so green eyes. You don't have green eyes, you have blue, right, Ann?
Blue. Sorry.
But anyway, so watch for my post. I'm going to be posting about, sunshine and flowers and stuff. It's not going to be anything horribly political or controversial. So, although if I'm not wearing a mask, apparently I am super controversial.
Face
And
crime.
Katie Clark. Yeah. Katie Clark says that she likes our lives. So maybe we should do it once in a while.
Sure, mix things
But-
up.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. Hopefully this will be on YouTube if Ann can download it.
If I can figure it out.
Like, comment, subscribe. I've been losing a lot of followers lately. I think it's the Instagram algorithm. So make sure you're following me. Make sure you're following Ann, because if we do more of these, you can find it. And
That's right.
have a super fabulous Thursday.
Yep.
And have fun at work this afternoon. I'll be thinking about you while I'm in the pool.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking about you too.
You'll be cursing me. That darn deplorable.
It's all right. I understand.
All right.
All right.
Well,
thank you all.
Bye,
Have a good
guys.
day. And now I have to figure out how to turn this off. Hang on.
I think you hit the X.
Hit the X. One second. Oh, I can remove you. There.